Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about the prophetic power of names, and the creative and destructive power of words. The Bible demonstrates that names have prophetic power. I mean, anybody can, and you don't have to be a prophet to kind of see that. I mean, I'm not. So, if anything, I more have the gift of mercy and helps. Those are the only two that I know of, and as Christians, we all have authority over all sickness and disease. So, yeah. And I guess, and anybody can really operate in any other gift. If there's a spirit. Anyways, that's a different topic. So, the Bible demonstrates the prophetic power of names. So your name is usually what you became or what you are, or is usually associated with your destiny, or in some way or another, or sometimes changing a name could represent in the Bible a new covenant or something. For example, Satan's original name was Lucifer. Now, just think about something. Why was it necessary to change his name? The name Lucifer originally means morning star. And incidentally, the name Lucifer only appears one time in the Bible. One time. And it refers to the devil, pre-fallen Satan, scheming to overthrow God. In Isaiah 14, I believe around verse 12-ish, somewhere around that area. And it's most definitely in Isaiah 14. I don't have time to look up a few other things that is interesting about that verse, because my channel focuses on healing and restoration. But part of that is understanding the power of words. When you understand the creative and destructive power of words, and then you start saying more positive words about yourself, because that negative words open doorways. So, I've seen about, I think, 5 times in the Bible where God changed the name of a person, of a human being. 5 people that I know of. So, and they had unique meaning, a change of covenant or a promise or something, and they represent into them and makes us so. It is interesting that God changed the name, so that there's prophetic power of names. So, and creative and destructive power of words, which is the main topic of this video. Proverbs 18:21 talks about that. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Well, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And what was the second half? Basically, it means that you will eat the fruit, that you will have the fruit of your words. What you say is what you get, basically. Now, that does not mean you go out and saying all kinds of nonsense, expecting it to happen. It doesn't work like that. This is actually how the law of attraction works, the New Age law of attraction. So, the law of attraction, New Age, the power of words, has some biblical truth in it, in the sense that there is power of the words. And the only part that disagrees with Scripture is this whole universe thing. Depending on the universe to provide for your needs. That is the only part that is against the Scripture. And I think, the devil kind of stole, if you will, the concept of declaring and decreeing, and the biblical concept of declaring and decreeing, and sort of turned into a New Age law of attraction or something. Now, you can name and claim the promises of God, and, but you cannot name and claim selfish desires. It does not work like that. Okay? You might even name and claim. There's nothing wrong with having certain desires, as long as, you don't let it get in the way of God. So, I don't know about that. Most definitely, you can name and claim the promises of God that are in the Bible. And like I said, you cannot name and claim selfish desires. It does not work like that. So yeah, there's that. Now then, back to the creative power of words. Will you, and I'm not talking about, in a different verse, about words having the power to hurt someone's feelings. That's a different subject, although that's true too, but that's a different topic. I'm talking about words that have the power to change your circumstance for the better or worse. For example, negative words can make a bad circumstance even worse. You experience a little bad luck one morning, and then you say out of frustration, "What else could go wrong today?" Well, now, because of that right there, you invited bad luck for lack of a better word, bad luck. You invited more bad luck to happen throughout the day. Whereas, say situation, ran into a little bad luck, maybe a flat tire or something. You remain calm, you don't say anything negative. You maybe even instead replace it with something positive words. Whatever, this is no big deal. Or just speak positivity over that situation. And there you go. The truth is, it is your choice whether or not you're going to have a bad day because of something bad that happened. Like maybe at the beginning of the day or something at some part of the day. I have decided that I no longer have bad days, only bad moments. Everybody has bad moments where we'll get a little bit frustrated. That cannot be controlled. That cannot be helped. Nobody's perfect. We all have moments of frustration, anger, and all that stuff. We have to kind of watch our words when we say that. I've seen stuff happen for the good and bad. Possibly as a result of words, things we say even jokingly and out of frustration. Now, I'm gonna bring up something that I found interesting, and I just can't shake. And I always kind of wondered about it, but the more I think about it, the more sense it makes. I believe that even actors saying their lines can accidentally and unintentionally proclaim negative stuff over themselves. Maybe even without it knowing it. Especially if they're not saved, if they have no sense of spirituality. I believe that is what happened to Red Fox. Now, something that I find interesting is that Red Fox and Sanford & Son, in almost every episode, maybe not exactly every episode, but in a lot of episodes, he always claims that he has a heart attack. Red Fox's character age of Fred Sanford in the last season was 68 years old. In the last season of Sanford & Son. Now Fred Sanford, the character age, not his real age, character age. Fred Sanford was 68 in the last season of Sanford & Son. Red Fox's real age was somewhere in his 50s at that time. So, interestingly enough, in real life, Red Fox died at the age of 68 of a heart attack. So, I do not believe that is a coincidence. That he was on Sanford & Son. I always claimed his character, Fred Sanford, always says that he's having a heart attack in a lot of episodes. In real life, he dies of a heart attack at 68 years old, which is also the same age that Fred Sanford was in the last season of Sanford and Son. That cannot be a coincidence. Now, many people, whenever they see numbers like that, that is kind of how conspiracy theories get started. But numbers repeating each other in a pattern over and over again actually proves that it is a spiritual situation. This is something spiritual. Okay? That's actually what that proved. The number 11, for example, represents chaos and calamity in biblical numerology. So, whenever you see the number 11 repeat itself over and over and over again in certain tragedies and events, you are looking at something spiritual. It is not proof of some sort of weird conspiracy. Now, something else I might get onto about the power of words is celebrities who supposedly predicted their own death. No, they didn't predict their deaths. They spoke it into existence. I mean, they created it with their words. Let's see, I don't remember exactly all of them, all of their names. Was it Tupac or one of the rappers? Anyways, there was one rapper, I think Tupac or somebody else, I don't remember. He's always saying, he even has songs about that. He talks about how he's gonna die young and he's gonna be shot and killed and by his enemies or something. He's always talking like that. And lo and behold, it came true. He spoke it into existence. Okay? This was spiritual. I believe that those seeds originally came from the devil, and they all had a spirit of death on them, a spirit of premature death, and a spirit that causes kind of plant the seed in their mind to kind of get them to believe that they're going to die young and all that stuff. Then they end up saying it out loud and speaking it into existence, and then it happens. That is proof of something spiritual. And then because of all this, a lot of people kind of buy into these theories because they don't understand how the spiritual works. Okay, because they think that, these people, they somehow knew that they was going to get killed. Like I said, they spoke it into existence. That is the creative power of words. Words have creative and destructive power. You can speak positivity into a negative situation and watch the situation get better. Even if it's a little bit slower than what you would like. So yeah. And you see a pessimistic attitude kind of creates their own bad luck, if you will. They speak it into existence. People who are superstitious speak their own bad luck into existence. That is spiritual. So, that is the creative and destructive power of words. Proverbs 18:21 tells us about that. And before I end this video, I want to go with something else that I found interesting about the power of names. I've recently did some research about the celebrities who got hate, more specifically an excessive amount of hate. I was curious about how spiritual it was, these could be spiritual attacks, especially since if I'm going to take Ephesians 6:12 seriously. So I looked up these famous who I know get hate, who I've seen get hate, to see what the connection is, see what they all have in common. So far, they have one of two. They either have one or two things in common. Either they was born around the three main Jewish holidays: Passover, Pentecost, or Tabernacles, and I meant festivals, not holidays. Or they have names with powerful Christian meanings. I found that very interesting. I find this to be true around celebrities of all ages. Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Demi Lovato. I mean, people like that. An excessive amount of hate is a sign of something spiritual. I mean, it is normal to get hate every once in a while and experience a little bit of that stuff. But when it gets beyond a certain point, it is a spiritual attack, especially when it's causing emotional distress. So when it gets back to the power of names, the prophetic power of names, I would like to bring up a celebrity, a young celebrity as a matter of fact, who, well, I just get into it. Her name is JoJo Siwa, and I decided to do some research into that to see if I could find out the connection to that name of why is she getting all this hate. It's kind of interesting for a teenage celebrity to get all this hate. It's kind of odd. So I decided to look it up, trying to find out that the name JoJo is actually short for Joel Joni. So I looked at the meaning of those names. The name Joel rather, means Jehovah is God. Jehovah is one of the names of God, and it means existing one. The name Joni means God is gracious. The word gracious can refer to the grace of God, the grace and mercy of God, and the definition. And JoJo Siwa was born in the 5th month, May. Now here's where things kind of get a little interesting. The name JoJo, which kind of combines the name, which blends together the existence of God and God's grace, if you really want to go by that nickname, can also mean Monday born, as in, born on a Monday, pretty much. JoJo Siwa was born on a Monday. Look it up. May 19, 2003 was on a Monday. So that is kind of interesting. Monday is the second day of the week. The number 2 represents unity in biblical numerology. Number 5 represents grace in biblical numerology. Now that is kind of interesting right there when you really look into that. I believe that because of those meanings of her name, that is why she's been getting all these spiritual attacks, because there's prophetic powers in words. I cannot find any videos of her talking about her religious beliefs, so I do not know what they are. But I can tell that she is actually very mature for her age. And I am dead serious. Anyways, that is another video. But the name JoJo, and as in JoJo Siwa, means Monday born. The name JoJo is short for Joel, which means Jehovah is God. Jehovah means existing one. And JoJo Siwa's middle name is Joni. Joni means God is gracious. And I believe both of those words are rooted in Hebrew. So, there you go. Something very fascinating. I believe that this right here is why it's why JoJo gets the Seaway gets a lot of attacks. These are spiritual attacks. And that's it for this video. Bye.